Hey guys, John chapter 10, verse 10. Jesus said, the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. He said, I've come that they might have life and have it abundantly. I love the concept of abundant life. In fact, in the 70s, my wife and I got married at a church called Abundant Life Church. So that's etched in that wonderful moment of my life. But just the word abundant, it's the opposite of depleted. It's really underscoring who God is, what God has, what God does through Jesus. And for him to say, I've come to give you abundant life. He doesn't say, I've come to put more religious bondage on you. He doesn't say, I've come to sour your life experience. He says, I've come to give you abundant life. I was on an airplane years ago, and I was reading my Bible, and I was writing notes, and I was studying some paperwork, and, I had my tray table down, and I was just leaning over my overhead light, and the flight attendant said, all work and no play. And I was engrossed in thought, and I looked up at her, and she had this real smile on her face, and and I said, what's the rest of that statement? Makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And I thought, she called me out on it. She's basically saying, hey, you need to take a break. I guess she had been watching me. I've been working for probably an hour or two. I don't know, just engrossed in it. And I remember when we were doing a lot of flood relief here in the 90s, and we learned to manage the time and the welfare of the volunteers. We had to impose break time. And what would happen was people would get in a work mode, and they just didn't, they'd push past meals, they'd push past water, they'd push past restful time. They just wanted to get it done, And I read a book years ago, Worship, Work, Rest, and Play. And the author attempted, and I think he was a pastor. It was a pretty good book. It was basically saying, worship with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love God with everything. Work heartily, 100%. He was basically saying, sleep, approach it with just, and this was before I had heard about circadian rhythm and melatonin and how you shouldn't be around light, sunlight, like you need to have, your body hormonally changes to facilitate the next phases of that cycle of your day to go rest. I remember hearing people say, we'll sleep when we're dead. I only need about 4 hours of sleep a night. And it's apparently medically not true. Some people need more sleep than others, but really there's a sweet spot. And that when you sleep, I learned this late in life, that your organs replenish, your brain detoxifies, so to speak. And if you eat, I was always a late night eater, and I'd get loaded up I noticed one time, I found some really high quality honey in our cabinet, and I just ate a bunch of it right before bed. And man, I was buzzing and it affected my sleep. Well, then a nutritionist said, well, yeah, because you put so much concentrated calorie in your body, and then your insulin spiked, and and they named all this. So you're laying there trying to sleep and your body's going, brrr. You just put a bunch of, it's like you expect, in your fireplace, the fire to go out, and you put fresh logs on it right before you go to bed, and it's like roaring, So I use all that as an example to say all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So we worship really 100% of the time. We work, whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. I think there's a work ethic, a work attitude, not like workaholism, but loving it, you know, like I'm working, man. I mean, we're made for that. We're not made to skip that. If you don't have that, your leisure time is dreary. If you do have this, your playtime's amazing, because it's like, I get to play now. I mean, I just got a text from a staff member, and she went with her sisters and her brother-in-law and her husband. They all went to a place they go every year that one of their family members own on a big lake up north where it's cooler through the hot months of the summer. And they just had a great time. And I also talked to a friend yesterday whose family went to Hawaii, and they were on speaker. And the husband and wife were talking, and all their kids and their mates and the grandkids were all there, and for the majority of the time. And that's what they said. The whole family was all together, and it was great. And I could tell they just had been replenished. There had been, we had a birthday party for one of our grandkids this week, and my wife and I prepared the food through most of the day, and then the adult kids came in and they helped clean up the kitchen, so it lightened everything. But it just facilitated a time where we could have a meal together because we all needed to eat. People came hungry, and the food tasted good, so we all enjoyed it. And then we all came together, gave this kid some gifts. The young dad, set this little 2-year-old on the table, and she opened up gifts in front of everybody. And one of my daughter's comments was, "That's a great idea to put him right in the middle of the room so we could all celebrate it together." And it brought balance. When everybody went home, it just felt satisfying. It was like, that was a great thing. That was a great thing. I'm at work today, and I'm looking forward to some of these other jobs I have to do. I'm going to go work out and help the aging process. So I keep lean muscle mass, I keep my bone density, and I keep my heart pumping, burn off some calories type of thing. It's all good. I just saw some guys. One of our staff members is retired from a rock quarry, and then there's a volunteer who's retired from being a fire chief. They're both Vietnam veterans. One guy had shrapnel wounds in his leg. The other guy had been shot down 11 times as a helicopter pilot evacuating troops out of the jungles in combat. And they're splitting wood today over at our volunteer building, and with our new log splitter. And they're they're yearning for productivity and fruitfulness. And I've noticed this. This is a cure. The Gen Z, Gen X, millennials, the boomers, all of us have a need to connect with our Father, to work heartily and have have meaningful responsibilities and duties to execute, to labor to enter into the rest. Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. The real peace when you put your head on the pillow is, man, I love God. I enjoy my work. Even you guys that are retired, finding something meaningful to just, I like one time we had some guests at our house, and they said, I like wiping countertops. And my wife thought she said, I like white countertops, because we had a white countertops. No, I like wiping countertops. And because you could see that you got the crumbs off, you got the coffee stains off, and it's just spotless. You know, you can see the results. And so I pray you enjoy worship. You really appreciate your Christianity. You appreciate your relationship with Jesus. You value it. It's the most precious element of your existence. You go to work and say, man, I'm going to quit griping, and I'm grateful I get to do something. I'm going to rest. I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I'm going to take it seriously. I'm going to get my body tuned up, and I'm going to play hard. Worship, work, rest, play. God bless you guys.